Artist in Residence is a project about rejecting perfectionism, accepting creative flow, and embracing the chaos that comes with making art and the chaos that comes with living life itself.
So the first track is called Together Yesterday. It was recorded in May of 2023. I basically finished my first year of college. I was taking a bunch of music courses, and in the spring semester I ended up taking Intro to Music Tech with Mike Frengel, and one of the techniques he taught us was using Audacity to basically change speed of something you were recording. So if you recorded something really fast, you could slow it down. If you recorded something really slow, you could speed it up. I had been listening to the Beatles re-release of Revolver, and on that they had the song Rain, which I didn't know. I'm a huge Beatles fan, and I had no idea that they basically recorded it super fast, slowed it down using actual physical tape, back in the days when they were still using tape, not digital. And it gave the song such an interesting sound, and I was so fascinated with that I was oh, I really want to do that digitally. Yeah, I mean, when I was writing it, I just sort of was coming off of a period of artistically writing a lot of stuff that I wasn't super happy with, and I was laboring on takes, doing all this perfectionist stuff where I was sort of okay, I just want a new approach. So I sat at the piano, decided to just put a mic up into the piano and literally just go. It was a new approach. It was let's just go, let's just record this. I don't care if it's perfect, I'm just gonna make something. And so that's kind of the central theme of that song, and kind of what carried over into the next 3 songs. Pretty basic chords for the verse. It was this is just what I wrote, like 2-hand playing chords on both the left and right. 2, 3. And then this was the chorus. When it came time to recording it, I literally stuck a Shure SM57 into an upright piano that my family had. It was that Beatles thing, the Rain thing, where it was record it fast, slow it down, see how it sounds. So I ended up playing it to record This is the slowed down version. So you go into Audacity, you change the speed from the fast thing you heard, and then you bring it down, and this is the result. You get a very, different vibe. I'd also been listening to Bon Iver's For Emma, and that album was great, and I love the song For Emma. I thought it had a lot of soul, and I liked the falsetto. I mean, I built up the instrumental track for Together Yesterday pretty much. I put down drums as well in real time once everything was slowed down, did a guitar solo, and then up until that point I actually had no idea what lyrics were going to be. I remember playing along with the track, sitting on the drum set, just sort of singing to myself, and then, I don't know, it must have been the Bon Iver influence, it was just a falsetto kind of thing came to me, and I was oh, that's interesting. And then you start to get some of the harmonies, I'll solo them. Show them. So it was a double track, and then it's all stacked together. The second track is called You See in Her. My second year, when I came back to Northeastern, I'd basically been playing in 2 bands. I wrote the main guitar riff for You See in Her probably fall or spring semester. I remember one of my former bandmates and I were working on it. Nothing really came from it. And so then when I came home for summer 2, I did my second year, stayed for summer 1. Summer 2, I come home, I was I want to record this, I want to do something with it, because it never panned out. So then I started recording the drums, the guitar, the main rhythm guitar. I think the best part about the song that I enjoyed the most was the swell guitar that you'll hear. I mean, the bass and the drums kind of sound like its own song, which is kind of funny. Kind of sounds like this upbeat, peppy, thing. Chords definitely add a quality. But I think, yeah, with the swell guitars, like, it's just very cool to hear, in my opinion. It just adds, like, I don't know, like nostalgic, but I don't know, like also calm, which is interesting. I think it kind of like contradicts everything else that's going on, which is funny. It was a kind of a spur of the moment decision to like sort of just have like a volume pedal swell into like a tremolo, like that kind of sound. Yeah, I was happy with the guitar work on this. Like, I think when you're recording, you kind of have a certain idea of like how this should sound in your head. Like, you have an idea of like, okay, like when I'm recording, I want it to sound like whatever influence. It was kind of almost like responding to the music you were making yourself, which is an interesting concept when you record alone. It's like you want a vibe, but then you kind of have to respond to the vibe that's being created in front of you, and you just have to learn to like respond to that. Yeah, so the third track is called The Light, and basically it's a song inspired by Planet Telex by Radiohead. And in the song Planet Telex, it's being guided by like a tremolo. I go back to the dorm and I have a tremolo pedal actually. It's like a cheap Behringer. And I start playing and like using tremolo like as the rhythm. And so that kind of inspired the track, and the chords kind of came out. I was sort of like wanting to write something on guitar that wasn't using traditional like guitar chords. I recorded drums to it. That's kind of how the track got built up. I like very quick decisions, don't overthink things, and that's kind of what the EP was about. It's just don't overthink, just move forward, find sounds you like, try not to overthink as much as you can, and just move on. And so I think my favorite part about the track was honestly though the mellotron like string sounds. When I was initially recording it, I was actually looking to just put like organ down, and so I was like, oh, I don't love the organ sound, so let me just like cycle through a bunch of different sounds, just see what I like. And so I think I eventually got to like the mellotron sound, and the string sound came up, and I was like, oh, that actually fits really well. The rain sound was something I added in, but I knew in my head like I wanted. That was mostly inspired by like the Paul McCartney song like Admiral Halsey, like Uncle Albert, where it's like rain sound mixed with guitars. Like, I love that. Kind of like movie soundtracky almost. Like, nah, I wouldn't go as far to say like as a like spy movie, but like kind of a like a vibe like that. And then the classical guitars are like harmonized. And then I love in the second chorus, like you go back to the same section, except this time there's like a call and response with an electric guitar. And then here's like some swelly guitars. And solo them. I remember I was going to leave like that night after I finished recording, because we recently had moved to Connecticut, but a lot of my friends are still in like Westchester, New York, and so I was used to doing this like hour-long drive to go visit my friends in Irvington. And so to get there, I would basically have to drive by this farm called like Weir Farm, and it was this impressionist painter, and it was kind of his like property. He had a bunch of like smaller like houses and like little studios, and it was like a farm, and it's the National Park Service, so inside they had information about it, and they had a little like card that they gave, and it said like artist in residence on it. It was a program where like artists, like painters would come and like paint for like a month and like live and work on the farm. The last track is called Caught in the Daze, and yeah, so basically that was another one where it's just like the guitar riff was something born out of like my second year dorm, where I was just playing. I think it was actually like the first week of school my second year. Like, my roommates and I were like messing around with amps and like pedals. I played the riff and it just kind of like fell out of the guitar, as like David Gilmour would say. Like it sort of just fell out. It was the like drum track first. Like I think I just played the drums with the tune like in the head. Like just like, okay, how many bars do I have to do? Then I tracked a guitar, like double tracked, added some like electric piano, kind of built up the track that way. And the chorus of the song was actually kind of like improvised from the session. I didn't really have, similar to like Together Yesterday, where it's like the lyrics just kind of come out from singing and just improvising in the studio. Like that's kind of how it was born as well. I'll isolate the harmonies. I think the part of the song that I'm most proud of was like that long solo section near the end where it's just like a string sound and like a piano sound with the piano kind of isolated. I wasn't expecting to like have this sound or vibe, but it just kind of comes out. It's sort of like found by accident and just through MIDI, just like messing around with different settings. And then I added like a piano solo. I think it was definitely inspired by like Pink Floyd, like Us and Them. It was basically like about the feeling of you're not living your life because you're so caught up in the busyness of the day-to-day, but you're also like worried about the future and you're doing everything to prepare for the future, that it's like, well, like what am I actually like doing now? And that's kind of what the song's about. It's like caught in the days, you're pushing away your life, always planting seeds, when will you greet the times? Like I feel like before this, I was sort of into the idea of like, oh, like write the song, write the lyrics, like have it very organized, but this was very like, just flow, just see what happens.